What's up, everyone? I hope you're ready to get your team together. I'm going to explain how to get your team together in Alpha Blue episode 5. What I mean by that is everybody's got their little group of friends, but they ain't got their team together, and they're just sprawled all over the place. In every game, you kind of look like a disaster zone, and you ain't winning that much. It's time for you to put your game and your players in check. And so in this, I'm going to use basically a football analogy because this is just the easiest way to put it out there. Now, in the game of life, you are the quarterback. You are the one that ultimately holds the ball. You hold your own life in your own hands, and you got to decide to get to that touchdown zone. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, you got a whole playbook of a bunch of different plays that you can make in this game, man, in this game of life. And number one goal, I guess, is to score as many points as you can in this life. You know, you always want to be at the very top. You know, you want to be the best in the league, and you definitely want to be a success. So with this, you're going to need help because nobody ever profited and had a successful life without a team put together, right? So as the quarterback, if you don't know football, you better just go and stop this and go look up some football, watch a few videos. So, most primary person that you need on every team in football is your lineman. Or line ladies, kind of wherever you're with there, hashtag feminism. What you need is someone constantly blocking off all the BS in life. Everybody that's trying to rush you and tackle you and basically make you go yards back in your life. And we all know who these people are. They're the people that you definitely cross paths with every single day that are definitely always trying to bring you down. Or constantly the people that are negative, or the people that just do not want you to succeed, definitely don't want you to score no touchdown, and they are rushing at you every single hike that you wake up every single day. The world's fighting against you, and you really got to have somebody out there blocking this stuff. You got to have somebody that's going to be there 100% to block all the BS, to basically make sure that you're protected at all times, right? So, next best person to have on your team would be the running back. Hands down is going to be your ride or die. The hands down person that you can always pitch the ball off to, the person that's going to go the extra mile for you, the person that's going to motivate you, the person that is always going to have your back 100%, and they're never going to let you fall. They're going to be there to just run down that field as fast as they can and definitely get you to the next level of where you want to be in life. If this person ain't there and this person is definitely leading you on the path of not getting that touchdown, or is the person that's just going to get the ball and first time they're hit, they're just going to kind of fumble that thing off to the opposing team, I guess we'll call it. You really want to start looking at better running backs here. You want to look at a better ride or die. And trust me, we all know who they are. You might be with that significant other, because most of the time that's your running back, that's your key player. That's always just kind of fumbling the ball, You just look at it and just be like, yeah, you're not really fitting the bill. But with the person that is your ride or die is always going to take that ball and is going to run it. Is always going to make sure that you guys are moving up some yards, is just not going to let you guys fall. It's always the person on your back that you can rely on, right? Next, you got your, 2, 3 wide receivers. You got your wide receivers, right? These are the person that is running out there that you can call and ask for support. You can call and ask for help. The person that's always going to kind of be there for you, and the person that's going to be giving you advice is always going to be real with you. And honestly, when sometimes you got to throw them passes out there, sometimes you got to throw that Hail Mary, and you got to be able to rely on that person. That person is always going to be there to catch that ball for you. So with that can come A lot of y'all don't have your team put together, right? A lot of you people have a lot of wide receivers out there and they catching the ball, they are running for the ball. They sure as hell ain't gonna die for it. We go to the people on the bench because some of these people need to be put on the bench. I was living with it for a very long time. I thought I had my team all put together and my wide receivers out there that were going to definitely catch the ball. And let me tell you, every damn time they did not catch the ball. And I ended up benching some people. They were always the bad people that I surrounded myself with that always had bad intentions. Quite honestly, I believe it. A lot of the times, even when I was doing really good, I kind of felt a lot of these people, they were just kind of sitting around waiting for me to fall. They were always waiting for me to fail. They weren't really too good of friends, for what I thought they were. They weren't. And when you threw out them passes, you could obviously tell because they were nowhere to be found when the ball went flying through the sky. Nowhere. Some of these people, you got to put on that bench. Look at them more as now of associates more than people that are in the game. Because, like I said, there are people out there, even for your running backs, even for your wide receivers, there's always somebody out there trying to block them. There's always someone trying to deflect that ball that you're throwing out there. There's always somebody that's trying to make sure you don't succeed. Maybe not intentionally, but world happens, and there are people out there that really, they'll kick you under the bus to do better themselves. They will deceive you. They will use whatever they got to make sure that you or your team does not succeed. And some of these people on the bench, some of these people that you got benched, actually wouldn't be so bad to throw out of the field every once in a while because, a lot of these people that you have on like Facebook and all these associates, you'd be probably honestly surprised if you took some of them people and actually brought them out into the field and actually threw them a pass or two. You'd probably be surprised when they caught that Hail Mary pass and honestly went free range all the way down the damn field. I live with this problem myself. I honestly have had a lot of people in my life that I unnecessarily didn't really plan it all out, and I ended up benching some really good people. And sometimes them bench people, they go for the draft picks. they ultimately just go to a different team. They're just out. And some of that can be for various different reasons, but ultimately it's just a lot of them I just didn't give the time of day, and I just didn't think they were a valuable asset to my team, which come to realize watching them playing on the other team, I was like, that would have been a good one maybe to just kind of throw in the game sometimes. Not saying use people. I'm just saying, when you're putting your team together, you better watch out who you're really benching and who you're throwing it on that field. And, and ultimately, what position they play is ultimately in your own mind state, who's going to be beneficial for you. When you're chilling with a bad influence in your life, a negative person in your life, someone that's not really going anywhere in life, and someone that's not going to bring you to any next level. Let me just put it like this. You hang out with 10 losers, you're going to be the 11th. You hang out with 10 winners, you're going to be the 11th winner. Basically, you are who you surround yourself with. You are who your team is. And when you're looking around, you can see the people that you definitely, even listening to this right now, you can think of a few people that you have on your team that you necessarily kind of don't really need out on the field and probably want to bench. And you got some total other people that you just want to boot off the team. And you are looking at some people that, hey, I'd like to throw him in my draft picks. Quite honestly, I deal with this every day too. And necessarily how to do it or getting the motivation every day and to find the right people, because sometimes you're going to think that they're going to be a great draft pick, and ultimately at the end of the day, they're going to be the same ones that will fail you when it comes down to the field play. They're ultimately not going to be able to catch the plays. There's going to be trial and error with everybody. And you probably would ask, well, what's the coach? Honestly, the coach, how should I put this? Look at the coach is like whatever your God is, karma, the world, whatever it is, because ultimately the coach is going to throw you some sideline stuff. The world is going to throw you some sideline stuff. And honestly, for every single situation that you're in, there's always a good, valuable play that you could use that would definitely get you succeeding. There's always a play for you. It's just a matter of what play you're going to use. You know, if you run the ball 7 times, it's probably not going to work the 8th time. You know, they have that, what's that saying? Like, oh, if you try something at it once and fail, just try again. Yeah, okay, I get that. But if you do that like 8, 9, 10 times, it's kind of like you're just running the same play over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And quite honestly, you're probably not going to get a different result. You're probably going to get the same result because that's the same result you've had for the last 10 times. So it's time to maybe throw the ball and not just hand it off every time. You know, and even with this, as a quarterback, sometimes you got to run that damn ball yourself and get that first down yourself, because you got to really rely on yourself. You are the quarterback. You are the one that holds that ball of life, and you got to make sure that you can handle it just as good as any of your teammates. With that, you also got to be, what team player are you going to be on these other people's teams? You know, because at the same realm of someone's your running back, for that same person, you better be prepared to be their running back. You know, for your same lineman or woman, you better be that same person that's going to be able to block stuff for them. You also got to be a team player. You ain't the king of the castle all the time. Sometimes just take a step back, you know, and throw with some of them bench people. See what they got to offer. In this life, it's a game, and everything out here is trying to beat you, and you got to be the one that's got the motivation, that's got the drive, and is going to make sure that every play is going to put you to the top. And I just know that I've sat there in my life, and I've sat myself in a dark, riddled hole in the ground. I have felt defeated. I have felt, you know, I've had like thoughts of suicide and bad, horrible thoughts, you know, and ultimately when I looked at it, it was because I didn't have my life together. I didn't have my things together. I always was the negative person. I was the person that people were benching because they were just, he's not doing anything good with himself. He's not going to do anything good with himself. You know, I was told a lot of my life that you are not going to succeed. And quite honestly, once I was at the bottomless pit, there was an epiphany of, well, I can't go any lower than this, so where else is there to go but up? And I've been busting my ass to go up ever since then, because I wasn't going to sit at the bottom. I knew the people that I was hanging around, I knew the team that I had put together was a bad team. I knew we were at the bottom of the league. We were like the worst rated team ever in the world of football. Quite honestly, at this point, we had a deflated ball, and my throwing arm was kind of broken a little bit, and yeah, let's just say my running back was, it just wasn't working out. So I knew that all this had to change, and this was, I guess, the biggest thought that I had that basically opened up my eyes was, honestly, I need to get my team together. I need to wash all this away. All right, hold on. We're going back into the draft, and we're done with all this. All these bad influences, all these people that are only wanting like the worst for me, and quite honestly, we're not going to help me at all succeed in life, and we're going to really ever just one day just get up and just be like, you know, I'm tired of being a piece of crap, and you know, maybe we should try something different. No, they weren't going to do that. I had to take it upon myself to do it. And when I did, it was the best moment of my life, because I found out, and really, the team was always there. They were just sitting on the bench. I just had them all benched. They would kind of yell at me from the sidelines, you know, hey man, when are you going to throw me in? Or, hey man, when you're done, like, being a crappy quarterback, I'll hop on your team and let you throw me a few passes, you know. It was that moment. And it doesn't happen overnight. I kind of went into it knowing that, but once I put my team together, I've lived or have been living a much better life. And got me thinking about this today because, you know, I got people, old friends and stuff like that, kind of bench warmers, that are now doing better with themselves and are now getting themselves in this mentality of getting their great teams together, getting their motivation, kicking habits, and, you know, trying to better themselves and doing stuff that is quite honestly motivational to me. I love to see that when people are doing better. I love to see that people are trying to thrive, you know, and when they do succeed, it's a great moment. I love to see it, you know, and these are the people that I go to and just, you know, hey, like on my team, man, like we should really hang out sometime. We should really get together. We should really start talking more. We should really do stuff, you know, because you are trying to better, and I feel at this point I can start to help people get to that point, you know, and start to get people to fix their bad ways or get them out of the gutter that they're in, because ultimately I don't like to see people suffer. I don't like to see some of, you know, even back in the day, some of the people that I thought I needed, you know, well, I had to get rid of or get away from. I see them people now starting to get to a point where they're going to thrive, but, you know, maybe they just don't know how, or maybe they just need a helping hand, or maybe they just need somebody that's been in their exact same spot one point and got out, and now would just like someone to talk to that can say, hey man, it's okay, you're going to make it. Hey man, there is a better outlook out here than just sitting in a bottomless pit all the time. And because I've been there, you know, I ain't no, okay, ultimately I'm still playing my game of life. You know, ultimately I ain't no multiple billionaire that has like 7 successful companies. I ain't nothing like that. I'm still playing my game, but I'm also doing a lot better than where I was at one point in time in my life. I'm also getting myself to a place where I am like sincerely happy and sincerely loving every day that I wake up, and not waking up every day waiting for my next fix, or hoping that I have somewhere to lay my head, or finagling of how I'm going to get the power turned back on, and well, I guess our water's not going to be running for a little while now, you know. Like, I've lived that life, and to be where I'm at now is just insane for that 180. And a lot of the people that have known me for a very long time know this, you know, and they've seen it. And I would understand for a lot of them back then didn't, you know, want nothing to do with me, because they could see that I didn't want the help. I didn't want any of them on my team. I didn't want any of them to do what they do for me now. Because at that point, I was totally happy with the ghetto team. I was totally happy with the team that was just failing for some reason. And some people are still living in that. And the best thing, I guess, to do is take some of these bench people and kind of throw them on your team, see what can happen, see what you can do for them, you know. And quite honestly, we should all be looking to help each other out and give people opportunity, give people a chance. But you got to make sure that you got your team in check. You got to make sure that you also are doing stuff that's going to make sure that you don't collapse. Because going out and staying the lowest on the league is never going to get you to where you need to be. Ultimately, you got to put yourself in a good position. You got to put yourself and surround yourself with good people, or, you know, you're going to be what you're just going to be a product of your environment, and which is looking kind of bleak, or it was for me, before I finally, you know, pulled my head out of my butt and was like, okay, I'm going to start doing something better for myself. And there's plenty of people out there that can help you. There's plenty of people that are out there that are willing to give you a chance. There's plenty of people out there that definitely like me. I'm always open for people to come and look for opportunity. I'm always open for somebody to come up with a new idea, or, test it out and see what's going on. Sometimes you just might run, sometimes you're going to miss the catch. Sometimes you're going to fumble the ball. That's a part of life. There's going to be trials and tribulations, but at the end of the day, you got to make sure that when you lay down your head, everything's going to be okay. And what you have is a perfect team and a perfect set of people that are going to make sure that you succeed and are going to help you along the way and aren't going to deceive you, use you, and completely just take you for all you're worth, and not sitting on the sidelines hoping that you fail, nor even being part of your team and, what do they call that, like cutting points on you. Because there are them people, and you really got to watch out. Sometimes it's worth it to do a little test, a little, let's just see if you're really here for the team, or if, because you got one bad apple on that team, it can start cutting down the rest of the teammates too. So, I know, as I say, it is, it's probably maybe not the best analogy for everybody, but it was the best analogy for me, and it was the easiest way to kind of explain it. Because it's not easy putting a team together. It's not, you may think you got the right team going, but you can take a hard look around and think about it a little bit. And yeah, some people probably need to be benched, and some people just kind of need to be just booted off the team all together. We all have them people. And it's ultimately, if we can make it work, and if we can do it right, we'll only succeed in this life. The plays are all there for you. The playbook is wide open. And you see the opposing team, in this life, you can literally read the playbook. You can literally read your playbook most of the time. You got to be able to, subject to change. You got to be able to have subject to change, because you never know. There might just be a curveball that you weren't expecting. All of a sudden, everybody charging at you shifts a good fucking 3 feet, and then all of a sudden, this isn't what I expected, and life throws you a curveball. But your coach is always giving you a play to, well, if you do this one, you can loop around that. We can get around this. We can make sure everything's okay. And sometimes when you need to throw the ball, you end up running the ball. You're going to make mistakes. It's just part of life. But you learn from them and know what play to make next, and be able to keep in the game. Because that's the ultimate thing here is you need to stay in the game. You need to keep these players worked out, motivated, ready to go at any given moment. So that was my piece. I know it's not going to be real long, but there ain't much to say besides just straight to the point here. Get your team together. We are in 2020, and unfortunately a lot of us don't have our teams put together, or we just got a bunch of bench warmers, and we just, we're just losing. And it's time we hit that touchdown zone. It's time we start throwing these Hail Marys out and we just get it. I hope you all the best. Get your team together. God bless. Let's get it. Alpha Blue 5.0. Like and subscribe. That was episode 5.